routine benefits for all. Reading of the minutes. All in favor? Aye. Follow up on ordinance violations.
All the fines issued in August were paid by their due dates in September. We've got three current ones that I need to follow up on for Bernice Avenue for a nuisance complaint, Spring Beach for a abandoned vehicle nuisance complaint, and Lakeside Drive for a weed abatement complaint. And then on top of my report is what is going out with all the booklets. All the sewer payment booklets this year for just to inform people of ordinance violations and
Okay,
what the most common problems are.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Think it'll be really helpful. You know, honestly, a lot of people just don't think about a lot of things, you know?
Well, talking with Jenny, a lot of people don't even recognize that they get a sewer payment book and know what their sewer payments are supposed to be, so. So that tells me how far it goes, but we'll see.
Would you argue something?
Yeah, it's going out with all the sewer payments.
Don't go out Monday. Maybe Monday, when she gets them done.
Sewer rate study?
We met with the rural community people the last week of October. They're still working on getting the rate for which we're done. They came in that we'd already given the information that they were asking for, so we just give them the information again. So it didn't go anywhere. I haven't heard anything back from them yet.
Okay.
And then Dustin just sent me this later today for that new rate study, so that way I can get this approved, and then I can get it submitted to the newspaper.
What are you on?
This increase to the $73 instead of the $63
Yes.
rate.
As far as doing that increase, everyone, I suggest that we introduce that ordinance tonight. We publish it and hold a public hearing at the next meeting.
This was already passed as an ordinance. Do we still need to do all that?
I don't believe that it's legal until you have a public hearing on the ordinance. You introduce it. If it's already passed, I think that there has to be, a public hearing on everything put together in writing. It has to be put in the newspaper.
Okay.
So this,
So do we need to still go with the newspaper and then do a public hearing, or the other way around?
What you do is you approve the rate. That's what we introduced it as approved. Now we put it in the paper, and at the next meeting, we have a hearing where we just listen to see if anybody comes in to object. And then if no one shows up or if people show up, we listen, and then we vote on whether or not to make it final. But I
Okay,
do not believe that's final, so it's been published in the paper and you had a public hearing on it.
okay.
so this could be like first reading, is that what you're saying, Bill?
That's what this is first
Okay.
reading, yes, ma'am.
So you
Okay.
need to read the ordinance number.
Yeah.
This will be ordinance amending ordinance number 2024-08. And ordinance number 2023-15. Ordinance number 2018-1. Ordinance number 2010-11. Ordinance number 0413. Ordinance number 9706. Ordinance number 85 5. Ordinance number 8210. Ordinance number 761. Fixing the schedule of rates and charges to be collected by the town of Rome City, Indiana, from the owners of property served by the sewer works and said town, and other matters connected with therewithin.
And Heidi, do you have an actual ordinance number for that one?
Yeah, it's 2025-05.
It says,
It's on the front.
And I think it's underneath that paperclip.
oh, okay. Yes, 2025-05 will be this evening, tonight's ordinance that we're installing. Do we need to,
Yeah, first reading, you have to vote on first reading for approval of publication.
okay, do we need to go ahead and pass this again?
In December.
Well, I know.
Or would we do this in December?
It's been in front of you, so I say yeah.
So at the December hearing, they do their final reading.
They do the final reading.
After the hearing.
Can't do a final reading until you notify the public through the
Okay. Can I have a motion to pass this ordinance?
Make a motion that we pass ordinance 2025-05. So,
All in favor?
aye.
And Heidi, I'll get to you what you need tomorrow to turn that into a notice, you can send it to the paper and get stuff.
Okay.
Grace Casewell, Noble County Visitors Bureau.
Yeah, Grace contacted me earlier today and said that she's sick, so she couldn't be here, so she asked that I read it, which I think it's in your packet also. But it's just some information that the Visitors Bureau has done over the last year. One thing is they relocated from their office in Albion to Kendallville. They're in the Community Learning Center now. And they've seen an increase in foot traffic and visibility, and they've been able to do more community engagement by being in the new location. I want to thank the Rome City Chamber for their donation to Visit Noble County. They'll be listed on the website and in their annual report. Their 2025 goals and outcomes were expand destination marketing with data-driven insights. So they secured a geofence visitor tracking tool and leverage survey results to attract new restaurants and hospitality investments. They've expanded their digital storytelling via videos, blogs, and social media. Under Destination Noble 2.0, which is unified county branding, they've done countywide street and park banner project featured in all the cities and towns. They've done resident engagement efforts, t-shirt design contests and sales, local artist banner designs, a countywide fall photo contest with incentives, press releases sent out to all the local chambers and the local media. Number 3, their Bridging Barriers Accessibility Project in partnership with ARC of Noble County Foundations and the AWS Foundation. They conducted a countywide accessibility landscape assessment. They surveyed residents, visitors, I can't talk, and tourism sites. They created a public-facing accessibility map of Noble County and improved the accessibility of the Visit Noble County website. Number 4, they've strengthened local and regional collaboration by continuing to leading the American 250th celebration that, as you know, America will be 250 years next year. So they're going to do some things around different things around the county. The Rome City part of that is representatives from the town of Rome City and Gene Stratton border continue to attend and support the site, but we're working on different things that we're going to do specifically for 2026 for that celebration. And they've deepened the partnership with local, I'm sure Grace could do this much better than me, but local Main Streets, chambers and lodging providers. Alexis Wagner attends all the chamber meetings in person or virtually, and she represents the CVB and supports the CVB event organizers, business leaders, and Noble County and Rome City Parks Board. They develop tourism itineraries and cross-promotional campaigns. They partnered with Be Noble to continue the Shop Noble program and promoting things that are sold and made here in Noble County. Number 5, they boost attendance at key events in the Rome City area. So Rome City is a pillar of the Noble County's visitor economy with unique events and attractions that draw thousands of visitors each year. Visit Noble County will continue to promote and support the Rome City Holiday Walk, the Summer Concert Series at Sylvan Cellars and Chautauqua Days, and all events hosted at the Gene Stratton Porter Historic Site. And they will also continue to support and promote new Rome City events and expand regional marketing to attract audiences beyond Noble County. Closing, Rome City plays an essential role in the overall success of the Noble County visitors economy, from the natural beauty of Cloven Lake and the historic treasure of Gene Stratton Porter to the vibrancy of the local festivals, events, and businesses. Rome City remains one of the most important destinations in our county. I'm absolutely sure that Grace would have done a much better job presenting that than I did, but you were stuck with me tonight.
We thank you. You're appreciated.
You're welcome.
Community Crossing Grant?
Yes, I did all the work to submit that plan, and we chose Pleasant Point and West Pleasant Point because that road has not been done since 1999, and it is in pretty bad shape. Have not been out there. The total cost of the project is $121,793, and obviously that's going to be subject to when we actually bid it and see what the asphalt companies say, but that's just my estimate. And then our portion of that we would have to expend if we got the grant would be $24,358.60. So it is a really good deal for us if we do get the grant. They pay 75%, 80%. I always get that screwed up. I think it's 80. They pay 80%, we pay 20%. So I think I did 25/75 first. And I looked and it was wrong. So keep your fingers crossed. I think we find out in January whether we get it or, and then we'll go to bid. And hopefully get on the schedule for 26. Otherwise, I'll push it off to 27.
Probably select.
How do they select it? I think they checked to see if you got it last year, one of the main things, which we didn't, because we were still finishing up our 2024 project. So I would think we'd be in good standing. And I did get the 2024 project closed before I applied for this, which helps because you don't want to have an open one and then you're asking for more money. You haven't got the other one closed. So that one is closed. So I'm hopeful we would get it. But they went down to just one letting this year, and from here on out, there used to be 2 that they would do, one in January, one in July, and they just switched it to just one. I don't know how that will affect it.
We'll have to wait and see. But we'll be hopeful.
Correct.
Over asphalt?
Okay, so when we discussed in 2024 about the tennis courts and the board had approved the funds to be put into the budget for that work to be done.
Yes.
We still need to approve it in a meeting. No, I don't know how to say, because we approved the work, but we didn't approve. I'm going to say we need to approve that the bill be paid. So it's going to be a 2-part bill for the asphalt because they did the milling and the resurfacing already. Actually, be a 3-part. And then we cannot have this striping and the posts put in until next spring because it's 2 different companies that do it.
Uh-huh.
And obviously, they just got done doing the courts and now it's too cold to do the painting and have it stick. So the paving asphalt portion is gonna be 70,000. They sent us the first bill for 46.5. And then they'll be sending another bill. Probably at the end of this week or beginning of next week for the additional amount to make the 70. So we need a motion to pay that. We'll probably go ahead and do just the 46.5. And then I need a motion to encumber the funds for the striping, which is 19.5. And then we can do the second part of the asphalt at the December meeting. That makes sense.
Can it all be approved tonight?
Well, I don't, Bill, can we do the second part even though we don't have that second billing?
Hear that, I'm sorry.
Can we do the second part of that asphalt,
Oh,
even though we don't have that billing for it? So we've got the first part billing for the asphalt. We don't have the second part. I know the total's gonna be 70, but we were only billed for 46.5. So should we just wait until we get the second bill in December and do that one and do the 46.5 tonight?
I did 46.5 tonight with second bill. There's no harm in waiting on it. Sir.
I don't know. I don't think so. No, because it's gonna be done by the end of the year.
We don't have a grant or anything,
No. And then the other thing is, we do need to do the
but
encumberment so that she can figure that into her books for the end of the year. So I do want them to go ahead and do that.
I would approve the bill that you got in front of you, so we work to make sure you can come some money for the remainder.
Okay.
Okay, did you get that? Need a motion for that, please?
Are we happy with the work? I'd want to see that.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, they did a good job. And they did it when it was warm, so. It was done last week. They finished it Monday or Tuesday last week.
Make a motion that we approve the 46.5. Second.
All in favor? And the encumberment?
Make a motion that the city clerk encumbers the remainder in 23,500. For the second, payment. Second.
All in favor?
Okay.
That all you needed for that? then?
Do you want to sign? You got one of those in front of you on the asphalt? Go
Yes.
ahead and sign that. Bill, are you doing the Swaney agreement or am I?
I can do the 20 agreement. I'm pulling up on my screen right now. Just let me know when you're ready.
Up to Cheryl.
I'm ready.
This is so much more difficult. You can't see the other people.
Well, I can't figure out how to do two Zooms on one meeting, so that's the problem.
And I know if I zoom in on your other plane and use my cell phone, it'll call it back to you. You can't hear me anyway.
Correct.
Okay. So anyway, there's been an agreement, tentative agreement reached between Mr. Swaney and the town. Under that agreement, we agree that we will recognize this structure as a legal, non-conforming structure so long as he removes bathroom fixtures and plumbing in the back garage, and then undergoes his as-built inspection of the back garage and gets the required permit. It also outlaws any further alteration and those matters as part of the agreement. He's agreed to pay the Netterman the sum of $16,900 within 50 days for the problems that has caused to the Netterman. allow the covenant not to seek any further variances for the property, which, you know, keeps him from coming back in 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah.
And he agreed to locate all of the air conditioning units, which somehow got stuck on their side of the house. And, we'll verify it. And, we agreed that, he gets an extension of time if it's, you know, if we have to blizzard of, what was the
78. Blizzard of 78.
78. And he had a weathering related extension, which is not uncommon the entire year. As a result, he releases everyone, including the town, and the Netherlands release everyone, including the town.
Okay.
And after we all get done releasing, we file covenant class 2, which means nobody can go to court about this matter and waste more attorney time. We agree that nobody's admitting to anything, we're just agreeing. And that's about the extent of it.
Well, sounds like that came out pretty good.
It worked out well. I mean, it was something that they wanted. You'll look from signature that Mr. Sweeney has already signed it. His signature is like John Hancock on it. It's huge.
Yeah. Well, not going to court again is a bonus right there.
But, yeah, it's a horrendous waste of town funds.
Yes.
I don't think you said the amount that he was paying us.
Yeah, it's 16,000. Oh,
That-
how much?
That was Niederman.
That was Niederman's.
It was 10.
Right over.
Anyway, it's around 10 and it more than covers what we've expended on the nightmare.
Yeah, we want to make sure, yeah, if the property owner pays the town $10,000, that pays back if the attorney fees will go up.
Okay.
So now you need to do a motion to approve that, don't they, Bill?
Yes, they do.
Needed a motion to approve that.
We'll make a motion to,
So,
yeah, we make a motion to, agree upon the Sweeney settlement agreement. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to skip down to the SB1 estimated revenue impact.
That is the document that when Heidi and I attended a meeting that Tim Castle, our assessor, held on the SEA one bill, law now, I guess. Ben had said that he could give us some numbers of how we might be impacted with this new law that they're passing. So it's not as bad as we thought it would be. As far as 2026, we're looking at losing about $52,000. 2027 between 60 and 62,000. 2028 71 to about 75,000, and that's as far as he's projected out, I believe. We know that 2030 is going to be the really bad year if they don't make some changes prior to that coming to us. So these are estimates. It could be worse, but it's not as bad as I had originally thought that it would be. But we don't really have a lot of room in the budget to pull cuts from, so, and that's really only doing, I think, the property tax portion of it. I don't know how the what they're replacing it with an income tax. And that all runs through the federal government.
Yeah.
And they're not real good about paying. So I know that the county is still waiting on money for the jail from the federal government in 2024.
Yes.
So
A lot of counties are still waiting.
could be a real problem.
Yeah.
But I did speak with Dave Abbott, Representative Abbott, and he said they are looking at making some changes to it because,
Stuart?
well, you know, with any bill they pass, they find later that how certain things they do affects areas that they didn't think it would affect, but it does affect. So they have to go back and tweak it.
Yeah.
So we're hopeful for some good tweaks, but I don't know. But I was thankful that Ben could come up with some numbers because nobody could give us anything but doom and gloom. So
The county audience have a question about that?
county's gonna take a big hit, obviously. They're like millions of dollars they're gonna take. So I don't know where they're gonna go, but
Really? Holiday schedule?
I went ahead, I just marked up what the changes would be if we wanted to keep all the same days. I just corrected what day of the week it actually is and what date it actually is, and then I can get this updated and printed and approved.
Okay,
So I just wanted to, get it approved so that way I can get it all printed and it's all good to go for next month.
okay.
unless you guys want to give us another day off.
No, I'm sorry. I would love to give you days off. And I would like for you to not have to, street workers especially, be out there when it's getting as hot, but we just can't do those kind of.
Or cold.
Yeah, or cold, yeah.
Unfortunately, part of it.
Sure. I have a new business as well that
You're just like.
I just got today, so
Okay,
it's not on the agenda.
It's just.
well, I was going to go to the, gallery ordinance. You want to go before?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I talked with the representative from GM's fleet program today, regarding replacing that vehicle that was. He, we had a good conversation, but, he is going to bring Wednesday their demonstration vehicle that they use. He's gonna pick it up Wednesday in Muncie and bring it up here. It is the Blazer electric vehicle. We can use it or drive it from November 12th through the 19th. The only thing that we have to do, is basically, provide insure the vehicle for the week that we have it. Other than that, there's no other costs or anything involved. It's just a free use for a week to see what we think about it. As a demonstration vehicle.
How do we charge it?
You guys have the part of
So we could use like where they plug the welder in over in the shop. So we could plug it in over there at the garage, to charge it. Overnight.
I have a quick charger at the dealership if you want to use it out for all too.
Okay.
Or I have one at my house too.
Okay. So, we talked and he's gonna get me some additional information with, Tom Kelly, who is one of the main fleets distributors for General Motors vehicles in the state.
I'm just not sure that a Blazer has a big enough engine for what you need.
It's, so on top of
You
this,
got a 409 in it, what you got?
Ken can probably tell you more. The horsepower,
Sell me a vehicle, come on.
but the horsepower is pretty impressive.
It's more.
Yeah, so, but I sent you a video. I sent all of you a video, just this evening before the meeting started.
Okay.
So it is a police chief in Wisconsin who, basically did a media release. They already own one, they purchased two more. So he goes into really good detail about this vehicle. And the price that I got back in August or September, whatever it was, when I was initially looking to replace the Dodge. When I talked with the gentleman today, he said those prices have come down on the EVs. In fact, Dodge Durangos, which generally Dodge is the cheaper line of any police vehicle. These are coming in at like an MSRP of around 45,800. And I think what I sent you guys back in August or September was somewhere around 50 something.
52.
Okay, so the prices we said are coming down. There's a lot of different incentives and things that are going on with the market right now. So, but if you're okay with us having that as a demo for a week, then I just need to have Heidi deal with the insurance to get insurance coverage for the week.
There's no obligation, right? I think you said that.
Yeah, there's absolutely no obligations in this. This is, if you want to take a quick look, this is the agreement that I have to sign and send back tomorrow morning.
How long has that chief in Wisconsin been using them? How many years or? I can say,
Well, they came out, this one's a 2024, so they came out in 2024.
okay,
He's got one and just purchased two more, but Indianapolis Airport Authority has one. He was telling me all the different places today that are buying them, so. I'm gonna look at obviously Ford and Dodge and get quotes for those as well, but this kind of all came up today, so I got that just before the meeting and had the conversation with the representative today, so.
how long do we typically keep? 3, 4, 5 years?
The Charger we've had since,
Well, I know, discount that,
well, no, but I'm saying we've had that one since 2012.
been around forever. I
Yeah.
know. But I'm saying that in an
2012.
ideal world, if we could,
When Steve was here, he was basically buying a car every 4 years.
Okay.
With the fifth year being the new model. So. But we had a 2012, 2014. The 2014 was the one Jim had the accident in. We had 2017 Ford, 2018 Ford, and 2020. So that's where we're at, vehicle wise.
How many vehicles do we have? I'm sorry.
Well,
3 right now.
yeah, we've got the 2012 Dodge Charger, 2018 Dodge Charger, or Ford Explorer, and the 2020 Ford Explorer.
And, well. In one crash?
That's the 2017.
So we had 4, we're down
We
to
had
3.
forward and
Really down to 2, because Dodge is really
Yeah.
dicey. It's got stuff going wrong with it about every other day.
And did you find anywhere in our listing of funding for a new vehicle this year?
it's not gonna happen this year.
Well, I don't think they can get it turned around in time. But is there any that you, if you could get a quote or quote, you could save if you had anything to encumber? to help make payment next year.
Yeah, he told me the lead time right now, which he would suggest is the 2026 model year. The lead time is about 14 weeks, from the date of order to have a new vehicle. So that would push it into, he said, probably February of next year. But yeah, as far as dollars, we're gonna have what we got from the accident. And then, I've got in equipment roughly 10 to 11,000 in equipment.
So you can use that as a down payment.
Mhm.
Is there any way to look for, like, other departments that have cars that have been, because obviously whatever the municipality trades in vehicles, they're really not working.
Right.
So is there any way you could find something like that because of budget cuts? Like working with other departments that maybe don't put it in the out.
Good, I really don't want to go backwards with a used car.
But there's some good ones out.
The problem with the Dodge.
I'm reluctant to give up warranty.
Yeah, well, and that's part of it. We've got outstanding recalls now on the 2018 and the 2020.
Well, recalls are mandated by the public.
Right.
I think it's like a long time.
Right.
Cavaliers.
Yeah.
So you really don't get it.
Yeah.
So recalls I wouldn't necessarily be as concerned with, other than just like characteristics of it.
I know that the Dodges had the big oil pump issue with their or oil cooler issue. I think it was the state police. I don't know how many cars that they had that had to be repaired. That was in the last year. Ford is going through all kinds of issues with all kinds of vehicles across the spectrum.
I think that has to do with COVID.
So, I don't know, but as far as this one specifically, that's a 8-year, 100,000 mile warranty, on the battery. So 100,000 is generally when we got rid of vehicles, used to be. But
And what is the cost of battery replacement these days?
Just about to.
Like 3,000-4,000,
Okay,
more than that?
yes.
Yeah.
Close to 12. I'm guessing I have to go get you inside. But it's fine.
Rules on there.
well,
Use it for a week.
I want to give it a look and see,
You can
because
look all you want.
I think,
Well, typically,
honestly,
we're not gonna keep a car longer
well, that's the thing. Generally, we don't keep them that long. So, and if we do keep them that long, I think the Dodge, we had 3 major repairs when we wanted to get it fixed. So we had 2 major repairs after that. So that thing is taking a lot of money this year.
You know what we spent on that? Well,
I'd have to go pull the records. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
About
than
nine-
just the last bill.
9,000.
But then it came back and then it had to go right back.
Yeah,
I don't even think we had it 2 days.
yeah. So I don't know, but the positive thing with this, there's no oil changes. So there's no cost there. Gas is out. There's no $3 gallon, $2.50, 80 cent, whatever a gallon of gas. And the differential between charging it and fueling it, it can be considerable. In savings wise. So I can tell you that Bargersville, Indiana has out of their 16 vehicle police fleet, 13 are Teslas. And the chief there said that he doesn't believe his city council would ever let him buy another combustion engine car again
No, I'm happy for him.
because of what they're saying.
So I just did a quick calculation. If you average miles off of this, I figured 1,500 a month. At 12 months, you're at 18,000 miles a year. So your 5 years, you'd be at 90,000. Now, do you anticipate keeping it longer than that 5 years? Most likely not. No.
I have no idea.
Well,
Hey,
watch the
Take
video.
For a ride.
Watch
Take
the,
Cheryl for a ride.
Watch this
Take
video.
Cheryl for a ride. You just go for a ride.
watch the video
I'm
that I
heading out
sent
to my
you.
Shelby. That's the only car I'm getting in. That's right. The only thing somebody can ride me around in, that's it.
It's not a car, it's a Blazer.
I don't care.
When will we?
Well, we should have been looking at it this year. Well, before it got told, we were looking at trying to replace one this year, but then we held it off another year, which we should have done it this year in retrospect. Knowing what we know now.
Oh,
So it was definitely gonna be next year. Which
So-
would,
We should probably have a
Potentially-
motion for him to be allowed to use this vehicle for a week.
And,
Before he
and,
cuts
yeah,
insurance.
and insure.
the motion to ensure that the public uses all the time.
All in favor?
do you have anything to add, Becky? Since you know more about it than anybody else sitting at the
We're
table?
still learning, and we're still learning. Obviously, that's the future. I'm certain thing we'll look at because of last week, but I don't know that just do that. So, I mean, they're good vehicles. That's not what my wife drives. Razor's got a lot of room. You know, you're surprised by the torque. It gets there very quick. So, you know, I don't know what the range is. Do you know what the range is?
The 300 miles.
Yeah.
Now, the more equipment you add to it, reduces what you get out of it. But like
Like
you
how
were-
it's set during some conditions. And I always like to say that is like, I have one.
right,
We took it to Chicago and said 250. I am stopping it and told it to charge.
yeah.
Not,
So
not anticipating that trip to, you know, so.
yeah, he said extreme heats or extreme colds will have variables. He couldn't say what those variables would be because it's all dependent on how hot or how extreme cold it gets. And the other flip side was like a lot of departments put storage boxes in the back, which is a lot of weight. We don't do that with our vehicles. So the biggest things that we would be adding would be like a prisoner cage and the front push bumper on the very front of it. But
You guys put on, patrolling.
Do what?
How many miles you guys put on? Before you charge?
the guys are roughly around 100 miles a night. So
There's a lot of idling.
Yeah.
Okay. Just
and
curious on that one.
and that he said is the plus. Because what you're saving in idle time gas wise, like our Fords right now, he said comparably, we're probably getting about 9 miles to the gallon. Because of the idling. Where these From what I read, 20 to 50 hours. It can just set and idle 20 to 50 hours without any issues. And then it has the regenerative braking. So as you let off the gas, it causes the drums to spin in reverse, and then it takes that energy and puts it back into the battery. So stop and go type driving, which we have a lot around here, would actually be beneficial.
What about the storage space? Have you looked at it to ensure that you have, because a lot of times these vehicles don't have much storage, sometimes it's just the battery.
Yeah, well, and I think part of that, because I haven't seen one up close, so this will be my first opportunity to kind of get a feel for everything that's there.
We want me to install charging, just to take that into consideration. Here. Or it's
Do you know what the cost of that is? Roughly?
it depends on which one you go with,
He,
probably somewhere around $1,000. But if you go with, like the one we got, supercharger, sure, the cost of 50. So,
Yeah,
he's
no,
talking, he was talking, like the level, it's like a level 2+ charger, which is around $1,900 or something.
I think you can probably get one more cheaper, but it's not stuck at the one that you can afford. So. Is there grants or anything like that? But usually-
Without it.
There was one through.
For chargers or for cars? Well, I
Um,
wouldn't call it a grant. There was a thing the state of Indiana was doing. But they gave you some money, but the actual charger that they were talking about putting in far exceeded the amount of the grant you were getting. And I'm like, I just don't see a benefit, because it was like, we were gonna have to put in $60,000 or $80,000 and they were gonna give us 20. I'm like, that's
They're probably the same. Kind of charger.
not helpful for us.
there is an agency in Indiana that. It's not the Environmental Protection Agency, it's a state agency.
IDA,
I don't think it's IDA.
Indiana Department of Environmental Management.
Yeah, I can't remember, but. There's a police department up northwest Indiana that bought and through that grant. But I think when the federal government shut down monies for a lot of that stuff, I think that was also like almost a one and done.
Well, this grant that they had originally, it's for like us to put it in our parking lot for anybody to use. And
Well, I think you typically charge.
yeah, there's a charge,
There's not gonna be a whole lot.
but it wasn't enough. Okay, yeah, we would get money back on that, but it was like in 100 years, we might make back the amount that we
The government.
put out for it, because, you know, we don't have a lot of EV cars around here, so.
I
mean, there's a few, but- Most people, if they have one, they have chargers at their house. You know, and I mean, I know there's people that travel through, but I thought it would be a good thing for like Sylvan Sellers or something, put one in there. And go ahead and drink and then get back on the road. And then you would have. I don't know. No, I couldn't see the cost savings in that when they were looking to do that.
So let's move along to the salary ordinance.
This was just what we had for approved of this year. I don't know any changes anybody wanted to make. It's just our current information. Or if any changes need to be made, so that way I can have it ready for next month. And have it all typed up, so that way, when the 26th comes around, we'll be ahead of that. I budgeted 4% for everybody, because I wasn't sure where we wanted to be, so that is in the current budget.
And that's considered cost of living.
Yes.
And agree. You agree about cost of living is. Mm, I would also like to, give Jennifer a raise.
Mhm.
I'd like to. I'm thinking dollar more per hour.
Yeah, because I wanted to,
She's at 19.22 an hour
yeah, I wanted to do that.
and, she's done an exceptional job and, missing very few days of work. Does her best to cover anything and everything she can. And she's done an exemplary job for us. That's like what you do. She would come on general fund.
Hers is general. Yep.
It's on the sheet.
Yes. That would be 21 even.
Are we doing? Call for possibility, 4%.
Oh, no, that, I'm sorry, I answered that wrong. The 4% was just what was, I just put it in the budget. It wasn't the cost of living increase.
Okay,
That's, I don't have that.
it's 2.5. So that's
Okay,
why-
yes.
that's why it's good. So
4% is what we normally would get
4% is what we normally.
Yeah.
do
from the state as far as
To
what a
offset.
budget
okay.
can be. You can't go over 4%. You
Um,
could, you're not gonna get.
We usually go with that because of the annual increase.
No, I understand. Just making sure.
Yeah.
So.
Do you want her to figure it at 4% and then at the next meeting you guys can figure whatever? Yeah, I mean, and it's up to 4%, so if you change certain people you could, but it's up to you. I mean, like, I don't think we need to do plain.
No, like, I would
You
probably
know, there's
like,
stuff at the bottom, it's not boards and but you guys is for the client information BBA.
That's what we're.
yes,
Yes.
and I haven't heard that the building is, that there's rates going up.
Isn't that a 35 now?
It's 35.
They usually will let us know in advance, so. Hopefully no, but I mean, they just increased it like 2 years in a row, so.
So this is you approve this, that you have, we have to find.
I mean,
Everybody's.
it's. You can't go over 4%, so you know, go back and look at. What everybody else is. Making. Sure, they'll work more, but. It's kind of.
My concern is what's going to happen with the budget.
Right,
You know, if we give it this year, then we have to give it in those other years when the budget's gonna be cut even further. We can make an increase, but we can't make a decrease in full.
correct.
So. Unfortunately, I think we just have to leave things for the option.
Do you say no, Lynn?
No, that's 4%.
Okay.
Just leave it at 4%. You agree with that?
Well, is the 4%, is that just the whole bucket of money?
Yes,
So if you want to give somebody 3 and another person 4, you can do all that, but you can't go over 4%.
I guess that's what I was at.
And I think that's what you want to do best.
Just as, you don't just give somebody raise, unless they've actually.
Right.
They're doing piss poor job.
We don't have-
Okay, that's what I was at.
Last year, Paul took didn't get the amount of increase as everyone else because of the way the ordinances have been managed, but he's done a much finer job this year of managing the ordinances. And I'd like to see that part of it reinstated for him.
Good job, Paul. Didn't do that, so, but see that.
Did you have any recommendations on Scott?
I mean, I think the guys all be phenomenal. That's what they do. They were out today at 5 o'clock. And we're out Sunday at 5 o'clock. Learn sounds. Good job. And we, we are gonna have, Quinn is gonna be probably leaving us next fall. Because he's going back to college. So I anticipate we won't be replacing him
Okay,
at this point unless something changes with what the state's gonna do.
See another gentleman.
So that would free up the funds for MBH.
Yeah.
Those guys. They'll just have to be more, less.
yeah. Well, part of our issue with the marshal's office is we have a third person now, which makes it really difficult to make an increase for the other two.
You can't help Paul's problem. MBH problem and sewer problem. Because the guys get paid partially out of MBH and partially out of sewer. Not replacing that individual will relieve some of that. Those two line items.
That person's leaving, that probably makes the most truck.
But it's not the same money.
It's not the same money.
Not the same money pots.
Still.
Well, you can't take any money out of that pot to put it in the other pot. You
You
gotta have your own black pot.
All you gotta do is balance that for credit.
Albion buys vehicles out of MVH.
We don't get very much money in
I'm
MBH.
just saying,
Not with that. We got trucks to pay. for.
that would be happening in here. Already.
We got trucks to pay for.
So next meeting, 11.
Yep.
Oh,
So I need a motion to go with 4%. And the increases that we just discussed. So she can have it written up for the next meeting.
Make a motion, we do a 4%, and do additional money for general.
And Paul,
A second place.
So would that put him at 6% then?
Yeah.
You ready for me?
Yes.
We had 11 meetings for the month. We had 9 building permits. 1 2-season room. And electrical at St. Gasper's, electrical tuition, 1 second-story deck, 1 remodel, 1 replacement of our front porch, 1 rooftop solar, and 2 electric. Plan commission, we had a vacation of 2 lots and a replat into 3 lots called Ann's Woods subdivision that was approved. BZA, we had a rooftop solar, which was approved over on Bernice Avenue. It's 26 by 80 storage barn on North Shore was tabled due to floodplain issues. We had a request for an RV overnights for more than 2 weeks in 2026 in Lake Residential, and that's back in, Pleasant Point, off West Pleasant Point, back in that little channel. So he's back in there. And I don't go back in there. I didn't know it was back in there, the little RV, and somebody complained about it. We do not allow it longer than 2 weeks. So I talked to the owner and he said the issue was when he bought the property, he didn't realize there was an easement that ran through it for NIPSCO. And then NIPSCO contacted him. They want him to put on his flat where that easement is for future reference. So it was taking him a while to get a surveyor to come out and do it, and now to get it put on the plat. And he's hopeful that he'll be able to build his house next year, but until that issue's resolved, he would like to still be able to use the lot. So they live in Indianapolis and they just come up on the weekend. So the board granted it for next year, and then they said he can come back if he still has that problem unresolved by 2027, but he said they're only up here, I don't know, maybe eight weekends out of the year. His kids play ball, and you know how that goes. So they did approve that for him. Conservancy District paid bills, bounce books, posted gateway. They are looking at cleaning up the retention pond here at the public access. And then once that gets cleaned out, they're gonna have ARC, which is our advanced Rome City that does the landscaping around town. Do some landscaping to that area to make it look better than what it has, because it really is starting to look bad after 30 years.
Imagine that.
Yeah, park board, we have the tennis courts paved and we'll do the striping in 2026. They're working on, concerts for next year and their 4th of July event they have. Bike trail, I'm finishing up, so that's the bike trail grant, finishing that up. I have items that I'm purchasing, and then we're gonna be putting some concrete down there. It may be next year before I get that closed out. So we're buying some bike racks, a bike repair station, a sign to put on the north end. Welcome to the fishing line trail. That's just like the other ones with park signs that'll match. And they're gonna put concrete pads down for the bike racks and the repair station down there. At the same time, they're gonna do concrete around the musical park area so that it's more ADA accessible. Anything else off the top of my head that I'm gonna buy for that, but I think we have about $28,000 to spend, so I think I'm getting close to that number. Noble Trails, they're working on their trail to Avila and then to LaGrange County line. If you've been out on the trail, you've seen the little blue markings on the edge of the pavement. So they're doing the road names. So when you come up to a road, you know what road you're at. I mean, we know because we live here, but people that come from other areas don't have any clue where they're at on the map. They're trying to look at the map and figure out where they are. And then also the 911 markings will be in that. So if somebody would have an accident or something would happen, they can call in and say, hey, I'm at this FL 126, and the dispatcher will know where they're at so that emergency crew can get to them faster. So that's kind of nice they're doing that. And then cut back brush. They're always doing that. And then basic plants. Lots of invasive plants. The chamber has their lakeside holidays and their Christmas tree lighting. Next weekend? This weekend. My weekend's all messed up. So Friday night is the tree lighting if anybody wants to come to that. And then the 15th is Saturday, and that's all the house walk and the craft show. And they're doing a bus, like a mini buses for people to get around to the houses, because some of the houses are.
So.
Yeah, because there's two over Lions Drive, South Bend Drive. That road's really narrow anyway, and there's hardly any parking over there. So they came up with that idea to cut down on that. So hopefully they'll do that every year, because I think it's a great idea. And you pick up the bus at Sellers, and then one leaves every 20 minutes. So nice. The watershed plant out at Kelly Park. What sign? Oh yeah, the little stop signs. Yeah, they'll put those out Friday. We'll put them down, and then you just have to set them up. And then when you're done, just put them down, and then they'll come pick them up on Monday. I figure that's the easiest way to do it. So you didn't have to mess around putting that big sign in the vehicle to get it somewhere. I haven't kept them out because they'll probably forget it because I can't work. And then for the watershed, they got both roofs on the water buildings out of Kelly Park. And Limberlost Landing, we're still working on the agreement to take over the sewer extension and working on annexation. I spoke with the owner of the video store again, and I'm gonna call him again this week. But I don't know if it's gonna happen this year because it just keeps getting pushed off. He said, my guy broke his ankle and I just really need some more time. I go, gee, Brian, it's been a year. I'm not sure how much more time I need to give you to get that cleaned up. But now we're up against the weather, so I guess he's gonna get more time. But I'll be on him in the spring. Attended NDOT meeting on the State Road 9 Bridge project. I think I said something last month about it. They talked about they're supposed to start in November, but I haven't seen anything happening. So I don't know that they will be doing anything. But the project itself is supposed to be done by August. But we do know that Front Street will be closed down during that because of the alternating lane stops. I updated the asset management plan through LTAP for the community crossing grant, applied for that, as you know, sent out bills to Limberlost Landing on their sewer installation project. That should be the last one. Met with the property owner on a land development project over by Hilltop. Attended the a meeting with the Sylvan Lake Association and Conservancy on water quality issues in Sylvan Lake.
What's exciting?
Yeah.
Hard to say.
Attended meeting with the Noble County Plan Director concerning zoning issues with the new battery plants they're talking about, the Google facilities, and the water bottling plants. So I don't know if everyone knows, but Noble County has a pretty good water aquifer and down in the area, I think it's Wolf Lake area, has a pretty good spring. So kind of trying to circumvent some of these developers coming in and making sure that they're following rules, and we're also protecting our amenities that we have. So I don't know if you follow the Google issues, but I mean, in Fort Wayne, they're going to take out an entire wetland. And then of course they'll be required to replace it, but not in the same place and not even in the same, it might not even be in Allen County. It could replace it somewhere else. So how that is helpful, I'm not really sure. So there's some things that need to be taken into account for that. And then with battery plants, the issues with keeping them cool. If they would catch on fire, well, Google is the energy sucker. If the battery plants would catch on fire, just a lot of issues with those, and they seem to be coming quicker and quicker. And you know, we're a good location for the Google because we have power. Of course, we don't have a huge amount of power, but we definitely have more than the West Coast or the East Coast. We have land for it, but then all of the information is getting shipped out to the East and the West Coast, and we're using our resources to supplement them. So I think we need to be better stewards of our property and our resources we have here to make sure that they maintain in our area, not helping someone else.
Yeah.
So that's met with Roberta on the concrete walkways down there at Gap Park. So hopefully next year that'll get done. And we met on the rate study, and I attended the Old Forest dedication at Gene Stratton Porter, and that was really nice. They did a little walkthrough, and the lady told us what they looked for to see why it would be eligible to be an Old Forest dedication. So it was interesting. I'm glad I went. So, and it's just another thing to draw people to Rome City.
Absolutely.
It was nice. And then for Scott, we had 1,094 gallons, 223 gallons enter the plant. We had 1,394,845 gallons exit the plant. Obviously, we are in drawdown mode, but the guys stopped in today and said that we are going to go out on ammonia, so we are done discharging as far as from pond to pond. So whatever's in our final it's still okay, and we'll continue to discharge that out, but probably by the end of the month, we'll be done with that, so we'll be in holding mode. We had one call out and 36 locates. They power washed the town hall. You didn't notice, of course, it was dark when you came, that the building was painted. Finally, that was a struggle, but they're gonna do a second coat probably in the spring. So we didn't have enough time to get the first coat on. The gentleman that I had hired to do that just kept running into issues, and so the guys ended up doing it. They hauled brush twice from the brush bins, replaced or finished repairing the Christmas lights, and they went ahead and put them up while the weather was decent. They started picking up town leaves, finished winterizing the plant, the water in the parks, so the restaurant closed. Took down the fence at the Kelly tennis courts so they could get in there and fix the asphalt. Changed oil on the generator on South Bend, found a problem with the generator, diagnosed it, and repaired it. Changed the oil and the generator at the street garage, sewer plant, the flash mixer motor burnt, so they replaced that. And then ferric delivery is becoming an issue. So we ordered ferric at the beginning of October. We finally got it delivered last week. But every time we order it, they say they're not going to deliver it because the drivers can't drive anymore. That's what I've pretty much figured out. We've had ferric delivered 50 years, never had a problem until the last 3 years. And it's either the equipment or the driver they can't back up. So Scott has to go out there and basically direct them to get into the plant and get around the corner and then go up. He tells them to go up so far and then stop right here and then start to back up, start to turn your, I mean, he physically is telling them, you have to turn your wheel. Now stop, pull forward, turn back up. It's terrible. And so I talked to the actual people that do the delivery because ferric company does not deliver it. They hire a delivery company. And I said to him, I said, you know,
CDL drivers, why can't they do it?
I said, it sounds to me like you have a training issue. I understand that most of your drivers probably are used to just backing up on a concrete or an asphalt drive into a loading bay, but this is not that. But you should have a driver that could drive and reverse into this spot. So then they're trying to give us all these alternatives. Why don't you run a pipe to here? And why don't we could unload it over here. I go, you can't make the turn here. You're not going to be able to make the turn here. This turn's worse than this turn. So I feel like the people that I'm talking to on the phone have never driven a truck because the questions they ask me is just unbelievable. I haven't driven a truck, but I at least can see that certain things you're not going to be able to do in this location. And the guy goes, well, I'll come out and take a look at it. And I said, you have Google Earth, don't you? Yeah. I go, it's really not going to look any different if you come out, but he did come out. But in the meantime, they delivered before he came out. So I didn't understand why we had the conversation when they ended up coming in. But every 6 months we go through this. So eventually they're going to say they're not going to deliver. And then we're going to end up having, I don't know how many 250-gallon totes of this ferric delivered. And then we're going to have to find a way to store it. And then it's ferric chloride. So it's a binding agent that we put in on 3 that binds to the solids and drops the solids to the bottom. So it's hazardous. It's very caustic. You get it on your skin or metal, it's going to burn right through it. So there's a lot. So if we have to have these totes that only hold 250 gallons, and we usually get a tanker truck full when they deliver it. So imagine how many 250-gallon totes we're going to have and how much of a containment area we're going to have around these totes. And then they don't take the totes back.
Oh.
We have to find a company that will come and get them and recycle them. So I don't even know how much that would cost. It's just one thing after another. And then the guy goes, well, this is what you're dealing with. He goes, well, I don't know if you can store those outside. And Scott goes, what? He goes, I don't know if they might freeze. It might freeze. Scott goes, you see that big blue tank over there? Do you think we're taking that inside in the winter? He goes, no, it sets outside and it doesn't freeze. So no, if it's in a 250-gallon tote, it's not going to freeze either. You're selling the product and you don't know if it freezes or not. This is what I'm dealing with. So anyway, that's enough of my soapbox. I'm off now, but it could be an issue moving forward. But we got 6 months reprieve.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Vehicle mileage, squad 1, 1,359 miles. Squad 3, 831, squad 4, 1,210. Hours worked, 150. Dustin, 126 and a half. Daniel, 184 and a half. Reserve, 17.5. Town ordinance violations. Have 1 nuisance violation. Officer initiated events, business checks 48. Assisted other departments 12. Extra patrols 15. Park security checks 81. Community policing 4. Traffic violations, traffic tickets written 18. Written warnings 68. VIN checks 2, HIN checks 1. Complaints animal 4. Miscellaneous complaints 5. Suspicious persons 4. Suspicious vehicles 1. Disabled vehicles 3. Open doors 1. Accidents 1. Medic assist 2. Driving complaints 1. Citizen assist 3. And found property 1. Cases opened. October 11th of the battery. October 18th of theft. October 25th, possession of meth and possession of controlled substance. October 27th was no WI. Meetings attended, had police prosecutors meeting October 2nd, chiefs meeting October 2nd, training council meeting October 9th. I went to the Senate bill information meeting on October 9th, and October 13th, Dane was set in the town council meeting. Training attended or conducted October 2nd. I went to the Noble REMC Power Line Safety Training and Appreciation Luncheon. October 7th, we had department training for patrol rifle. October 13th through the 17th, I was in Avon for my level 2 instructor certification for defensive tactics. October 21st, we did department training for vehicle extractions. And October 26th, Dustin and Daniel participated in the Kosciuszko County field day training, and I went and observed. They did an officer down scenario with stops training. They did emergency vehicle operations, driving training. They did firearms training as far as building searches and room clearing. And then they did a actual scenario based thing with they had Lutheran EMS. They had an ambulance there with a combative patient. And so when the guys got done with their emergency vehicle driving, they stopped at the ambulance and then jumped in the back of the ambulance to assist with a combative patient. So they do some defensive tactics in there. So it's about a 4-hour day of training, but it was really, Kosciuszko County did a really good job. So that was good to see. So special events and activities, we had trunk or treat at Rome City Elementary. Dustin and Rich took care of that. On October 31st, we had trick or treat. And then again, all the tickets for the town ordinance violations, were closed. For incidences in town, July was 233, August 210, September 163, and October 159. The surrounding area outside of town, July had 119, August 102, September 104, and October 107. The sheriff's department had in town July 29 incidences, August 32, September 34, and October 28. Outside of town, the sheriff's department in July had 85, August 60, September 55, and October 67. Thing is the traffic summary from the speed sign. Average value per day on Front Street is coming into town is 665.8 cars. Total value for the month of October was 20,639 vehicles. Minimum speed was 5 miles per hour, maximum speed was 73 miles per hour.
You have bills to pay.
So, and I had a mileage of 112. It says September, but it, May, October. And that for the town, it had $140,414.94. And for the sewer, we had $37,467.34.
Need a motion to pay bill,
Second.
all in favor? Okay. Our next meeting will be December 8th.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Right, Bill? On the primary thing,
Primary.
yeah.